All right, it's official. 5D Biz Codes is here. I've been wanting to go deep on this for a while. I've been sharing a lot on social media over the last year or so around this, and it has gotten deeper. And I'm excited because we are in this new paradigm of entrepreneurship, this new paradigm of leadership, this new paradigm in general, as we have all been ascending. So has our business, so have our clients, so has everything. So there's a new, not even new, there's a better way to operate in our lives, in our business, in a way that feels really freaking resonant for us, that feels really good, that goes against the grain, that allows us to throw out all of the old paradigm rules that maybe you've been picking up along the way that haven't felt good for you. And so let this be your permission slip to let that shit go. And let's play in the quantum when it comes to your business. So I actually have some slides that I made that I'm going to go along with this. I channel my stuff a lot, so I may or may not turn them off. Depends. And I also love to use the chat box and bring you in on this co-creation as well. So I may ask questions or whatever, and love the chat box interaction. I will have time for at the end for shares and questions. And also, I'm going to be sharing a really powerful activation at the end that will support you in upgrading your frequency and the frequency of the next evolution of your business. All right, so I'm going to share the screen and pop these slides up. And I also would love to hear in the chat, how long have you been doing your business? Like, what has that been looking like for you? Are you new? Have you been doing it for a hot minute? What does that look like for you? No, I can't find the chat. Hold on. Where did the chat go? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. Can you guys see this thing that says 5D Biz Codes? Just give me a yes. You can see it. 2 years. We got 2 years. Yes. Okay, cool. And you can only see the 5D Biz Codes, right? 5 years, Amanda says. Really focused 100% in the last year. Stephen says 2 years. Less than a year. Okay, cool. And so a lot of you have already been doing your thing, putting yourself out there. It doesn't really matter where you are on the journey. I just want to learn about you. I just started to get more clarity about how I want to brand myself, but it's been 3 years. 2 years, Brittany says, cool. So as we are on this journey, our business evolves with us. And so I've worked with people at the beginning stages of their journey to people that have been doing this for a hot minute and have created a lot of success, and they are going through an expansion in their business. So in this training, it's basically quantum manifestation meets soul-led business. Okay. If you are a quantum healer, a channel, an intuitive, or a mystical person, starseed, whatever you identify as, we are a different breed. We are different in the sense that we are led by our intuition. We are led by our soul. We are guided by spirit, and we are listening to that guidance. And it can get really wonky or distorted when we let too many things in, or we do things that are not really fully resonant on a soul level, and that can leave you feeling stuck, stagnant. I've had people come to me that have created a lot of success, and they just reached this point of burnout, or they felt like they were just chasing the milestones and the metrics, and it just disconnected them from their self and their mission. And so we're going to deconstruct a lot of that in here, and I'm going to be sharing some really cool stuff with you. Let me just read a couple of what you guys are saying in the chat. Stephen said, I'm here because I really resonated with some of the overview you shared and have been feeling called to be in deeper devotion to my practices and intuitive connection. Beautiful. The challenge for me seems to be stilling myself enough to really intuitively know how I need to show up in my business. Beautiful. We're actually going to talk a little bit about that. Alfredo says, I've also been researching a lot of channeling like Bashar. I freaking love Bashar. And the Law of One channeling, Raw Contact, is amazing too. If you guys haven't read that, it's really good. So this is really interesting. You're talking about channeling as well. Yeah, I always bring the channeling into the mix. And I love that we have some guys in here too today. It's not just the ladies. Cool. All right. So vibrational resonance is what attracts the highest level of fulfillment, along with the perfect people in your programs and overflow of abundance. This is the, I guess, core statement that I've created when it comes to 5D business and quantum business, if you will, where vibrational resonance takes it's more important than anything else. Obviously, we have the strategy, we have the things that we do in the physical realm, the actions that we take, but vibrational resonance, your own personal vibration, and really tuning into the vibration of your soul aligned clients, and also the energy, the frequency of your business, of your offers, really creates the highest level of fulfillment and calls in the perfect people that are meant to work with you, versus when you're not fully tuned in and aligned in that way, it can lead to just feeling burnout, right? We have our stuff come up. The entrepreneurial journey is a spiritual journey in and of itself. You hear me say that all the time, possibly. And it's true. It is a spiritual journey in and of itself, because we have signed up for this. Like, you have had this soul calling within you for as long as you can remember. And it's been this burning desire, this burning calling, that's how it was for me. And in this process of answering that call, all of the stuff that's not who we truly are comes up, and we work through that, and we are able to create more fulfillment in that way. Let me just make sure nobody else is trying to get in. Well, we have one more person. Okay. Renee says, I channel and I'm a quantum healer, ready to up-level myself in my business. Yeah, let's go. All right. So I know there's some new people here to me. So I actually made like a little intro thing too that I'm going to share, just so we can also connect more, so you can learn a little bit more about me. And we can connect on that level. So today we're going to be diving into the 4 pillars of new paradigm leadership: quantum client attraction, multidimensional marketing, vibrational frequency, and soul-led versus ego-led business. You heard me share a little bit about some of that in just this intro, and we're going to get into it a little bit more. I'm also going to share some prompts and things with you to consider, to dive into even more, to implement some of this. So get ready for some magic, and it makes things way more fun when we think of it this way. Before we begin, it's so funny. I like never have slides, but I was like, you know what? This training needs slides. I'm going to make these pretty little things and share it in a way that lands for the visual people. So I wanted to do a little intro, because I know there's some new people here to me. And if you are, let me know. If you've been following me for a while, you can also let me know in the chat. I'm Stephanie, obviously, creator of Spiritual Boss Babe. I'm a spiritual mentor, quantum business coach, and Star Power Activator, which is a new title, if you will, that I have given myself. And I'll explain what that is. And I will share some things that will support you in coming up with a new catchy thing that you might want to call yourself as well, that's more resonant for you and your business. I support people with blending the energetics, embodiment, and aligned strategy to skyrocket their impact, income, and confidence. A lot of the work that I do with my people is inner transformational work, which obviously equates to the outer reflections in your reality, in your life, and in your business. I love working with leaders, with people who are soul-driven, who have a big mission, because I believe that together we create a massive impact in the world. We create a ripple effect, and we're here to be of service. And so I mostly, actually pretty only work with entrepreneurs, leaders, or people on this path, at least, to answering their soul calling. Fucking love Star Power Activator. Thanks, Amanda. Kelsey, I've been following you for some time. Love your vibe. Yay, thank you. So I believe that your energy and embodiment and the highest expression of you is what translates to the outer results, like I just said, like more money in the bank, clients lining up to work with you, and you feeling lit the fuck up with everything you're doing in life. And I want to know if any of you guys resonate with any of this. I had to put this in there because just there's some fun things in here. So I'm a master practitioner of and trainer of NLP, quantum timeline work, EFT, success coaching. These are all tools that have really transformed my life, that have supported me with reprogramming my unconscious mind, really embodying more of who I truly am. And these tools also support me in supporting other people as well, especially when people get stuck in cycles or patterns or programming that's not actually who they are. I've spent over 15 years on my personal, spiritual, and business growth journey. I had my first Oracle deck at 14. That's when I got into the witchy woo stuff at a very young age. And I started my first business venture at 19. Started Spiritual Boss Babe at the end of 2016. Grew one of the largest communities for spiritual entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial women mostly, on around the globe. I've had many business ventures on this journey, and I want to share this because maybe you can relate. I've had many business ventures on my journey before I fully stepped into my soul mission. So I used to be a makeup artist. I bedazzled bras and corsets for artists and designers. I was a personal trainer in New York City. I had my own boot camp. I did network marketing. All this stuff was before 2015. And I, through that journey, was able to learn a lot of skills, a lot of things, a lot of things that have supported me in really coming to the truth of who I am and what I'm here to do. Started with personal training when I realized I was meant to support other people. And then I found plant medicine, which is something I'm really passionate about. This next thing here, super passionate about plant medicine and psychedelics for healing. Hey, let me know if you are as well. And also for expansion, psychedelics have supported me massively on my journey and are also have been a big part of what inspired my whole brand, to be quite honest with you, back in 2015 when I first started that journey. I love geeking out on multidimensional manifestation, galactic intelligence, human design, quantum reality. If you guys know, you already know, or else you wouldn't be in here. And I'm on a mission to show you that you get to have it all simply by being you. So that's a little bit about me. I just wanted to share that to connect, to resonate. I like sharing about me because I want to call in my people, and I invite you to do the same through your work and through your content. Before I get into this slide, like, let people know about who you are, what your journey has been, what are the things that you believe in, what are the things that are interesting for you, how have you grown on your journey, the things that I just shared with you in that last slide. How can you infuse some of that into your message and into the way that you're showing up, because this lets people in to see you and creates intimacy with your audience and the people that you're serving. So I already asked you why you're here. My intentions for this training and activation is to share a better, easier, more aligned way of operating in your life and business that's more resonant to who you truly are. In my world, we blend, like I said already, the energetics and embodiment, the spirit and the practical. I like to call it the galactical. After this training, I'm also going to share some ways you could dive deeper with me if you're called to do that. And throughout this training and beyond, I invite you to throw out all of the shoulds, all of the hustle energy, all of the old ways in being and doing, all the things that people told you that you need to do in order to be successful that don't feel aligned for you. I invite you to throw that stuff out and listen to your heart and soul and take what resonates for you and leave the rest. With everybody or anybody that you learn anything from, including me, take what resonates for you, leave the rest. This is about true soul-led leadership. And in order to really, really embody and be a soul-led leader, we've got to really know ourselves and be really congruent in who we are. So I want to talk about this before I go into the 4 pillars of new paradigm leadership, because I have some serious community codes, guys. So as I said before, you've evolved, so has your business, but so have your clients and your community. So whether you've been in the game for 5+ years, I don't care how long, you have evolved, and so has your community. And maybe you are still growing your community. Maybe you're wanting to reach a new type of person in your new type of people in your audience or whatever, maybe I want you to consider, what does it look like? What does that feel like for you? Because I've had people come to me that have a beautiful, thriving community, but people are engaging, but they're not signing up for their stuff as much as they would like to. Let me know if that's happened to you. And this is a safe space in here, for anyone who wants to share anything that I ask in the chat. I've had clients who have, who've had, who've grown their audience on one platform but don't feel aligned with that anymore. I've had people who are starting to grow their stuff. I even have people who aren't even really online that much and they get word of mouth stuff. But I want you to consider what the vibe of your sacred community is like on and offline. What do you want it to look like and feel like? Now, I started my community in 2016. Like I said, my Spiritual Boss Babe community started on Facebook. How many of you are in my Spiritual Boss Babes group? So I started this group in 2016. Let me just share something. I had no fucking clue what I was doing at the time. All I knew is I wanted to bring people together that were like me, entrepreneurial women who were into the witchy woo stuff. And I wanted to just share the things that I've learned on my journey to support them on theirs. That's all I knew when I started. And of course, I knew I wanted to create a business out of it. I didn't know what it was all going to look like though. And I didn't know how to do it. So I started that in 2016. I'm going to share this. I haven't even shared this a lot. Maybe I should share this more, but I don't think I sold like anything for the first year that I had my community. I'm not telling you to do that. Do not do that. But I was so nervous to share or sell or offer anything for I think it was almost a year that I was just growing it, nurturing, showing up, yada, yada, yada. In 2017, or towards the end, I think, of 2016, one of those years, there was a point where my community blew the fuck up. Like it went from 1 year, it built to like 1,000, and then it blew up to like 30,000 people in a matter of several months. And there were certain things that I was doing, thinking about, and sharing for the growth of not just my Facebook group, but also my other platforms, Instagram, and my podcast that has over 500,000 downloads now, which I'm really excited about. There were things that I considered when I did all of this stuff. And as I've grown and gone on my journey, because we're talking that's like 7 years ago now, crazy, or 6 or 7 years ago, I have shifted, my community has shifted, the world has shifted, right? And I find myself now revisiting exactly what I'm sharing with you here is, what do I want my community to look like now? What do I want it to feel like? And how can I create that? And so I have been focusing on deepening my community. And the reason why I'm sharing with you right here is because everything that you're doing in your business and with sharing your message, it always comes down to relationships and really connecting with the souls that you're here to serve. So my question is always, how can I connect with the souls that I'm meant to serve on a deeper level? That's why I do things like this, right? I do a lot of different things genuinely to connect with amazing humans that maybe they'll work with me, maybe they won't, maybe we'll collaborate, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just like want to give a feeling in my community. So I want you to think, what does that look like and feel like for you? What do you want it to look like and feel like? I've also had a shift. I don't know if any of you can vibe with this. I don't vibe with Facebook like I used to. Like, I'm sure a lot of people are on that vibe. I prefer sharing in different ways now. And so my focus is not on my Facebook group anymore. It is in other spaces where I like to be more, where it feels expansive for me. And I invite you to do the same. Where do you want your community to be? I believe that it's great to show up on multiple platforms and all of that, but what is most exciting for you? Remember, where you are lit up is where your energy goes, where your attention flows, energy goes, right? or what's feeling good to you is going to be where it's at. So I'm creating new standards for my community, both in my free spaces and also my paid coaching containers. So I just gave you the example of what platform do you want to be on. I even shifted the way that I'm doing my paid containers. I like to have them on Telegram right now. Maybe that'll change in the future. Who knows? But I really like it on there. It's a great vibe. On social media, I like to be on Instagram, my podcast. Those are the main things. So consider where you like to show up the most. Consider the vibe of the people that you're wanting to call in and attract. Consider different ways of connecting. So like I shared, I like to do things like this: bring people on a Zoom call, do a training, share some freaking magic. Let's be in the energy together. Let's connect, give massive value. Yeah, I'm going to invite you into something. And if you're called, cool. But it's a way to connect with people and, share some of this stuff and give value. Other ways to connect with people, examples. And I want you to think of what feels good for you. And also I utilize my human design, which I'll get into in a second. But I love connecting with people on Instagram, and I connect with people a lot on there, actually, organically and genuinely. Some of you in here have connected with me personally on there. And I build relationships, just genuine connections, whether people jump into my free things, whether people jump into my programs. We still have a connection on Instagram. I connect with people in person. I also, when you think of your community codes, your own personal community codes, how do you connect with people naturally, like outside of your business? How do you connect with people naturally outside of your business? Like, what excites you about that? I like to think of like my soul family I have here in Austin. I have amazing friends. And, it's funny. I had this soul fam convergence a couple weeks ago, or like a few weeks ago. And I just wanted to bring all these people together, just like I do online. I wanted to bring all these people together from different friend groups that I have connected with, bring them in my house. Let's have a party. Let's have fun. Let's connect. And that's exactly what I like to do in my business too. And it's kind of like you can sometimes relate the two. I also, when I invite people to, like when I invited people to the Soul Fam Convergence, I personally reached out. I said, hey, I would love for you to come to this. I do that same thing. And some people might not like to do this and it might not resonate for you, and that's fine. But if I have a connection with someone on Instagram, or on any other platform, I will sometimes reach out and just say, hey, I'm doing this thing, this training. I would love to have you there. If you want the link, let me know. And maybe some of you are in here that I've reached out to. And so consider how you connect with people in real life and what feels good to you in that. Steven says, thank you for this. I feel like I've been meeting a lot more people offline, face to face. I connect easily sharing what I do in person, but I struggle to show up on social media, oftentimes wondering who I'm even talking to, and maybe even talking to the wrong people. Is it bad if most socials don't feel expansive or organic for me, or is this something I should lean into? So if you are desiring to build an online business, like online, then yes, you will want to leverage some kind of social platform. You would have to think of, and it might not feel the best for you. Well, I think that I think that a lot of it is perspective shift. I have a client of mine who, she was really hating social media for a while. She didn't want to show up on video, and she was just like not excited about it. And we went into her human design a bit more. She's I think a 4-1 generator, and we went into some of her chart. And what we realized, or what felt better for her, is that she loved doing audios more. And she's a channel, amazing, super gifted. And she found a way that felt really exciting and expansive for her in the way that she shared. So she started making these amazing audios of audio transmissions, pumping out content like, beautifully. And a lot of people are resonating with that. And so you've really got to find what feels aligned for you. This is what utilizing my human design, and I can't get super deep into human design in this, but if you know your human design, if you start getting into human design, you can start understanding how your energy works. Human design is basically your energetic blueprint, how you were designed to be. So Steven says he's a 2-4 manifesting generator. Okay, so the hermit opportunist. Okay. And Manny Jens, you have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that come to you. So consider, how do I like to share? Is it, how do you like to share when you're with people offline? Maybe consider that and how you can translate that to online. I'm a 1-3 generator. Sweet. I'm a 6-2 generator, by the way. So the 2 is the hermit, naturally gifted genius over there. So anyone with a 2. So you may get, you'll get called out to share your gifts usually if you have a 2. So anyway, back to what I was saying, consider how you enjoy showing up and maybe different perspective shifts that you can take on that will make it easier for you. I was not always excited about showing up. I was scared to do videos at first, but I really felt called to do videos before I wanted to, because I was scared to at that time, but I knew that's how my voice wanted to be shared. And I do audios on my podcast. And just so we all know, when it comes to the online space, video and audio are the best ways, the easiest and fastest ways for people to connect with you, because they can feel your energy. Think about when you come across someone on video or audio, you feel them more, right? This is not to say that you can't feel them through writing. Sasha says, I can relate to speaking freely, feels more expansive, and I think learning social media has slowed me down a bit from launching my business. One platform at a time is perfectly fine. So I want you to think about your community codes. What do you want your community to look like and feel like? Your sacred community, on or offline? What is the energy of it? What is the vibe of it? What are the type of people that you want to attract? The reason why I shared more, you saw some of the things I shared more about me in the other one. I tend to attract people who are, who are obviously healers, coaches, who are into psychedelics and things like that, who are, into a lot of similar things. And we want to work with people who are similar to us. Why not? Why wouldn't we? That's how we relate. Okay. So I shared some of that. I don't want to go too deep in this because we still got a whole lot of stuff to cover. We didn't even get to the 4 pillars yet. All right. So your own embodiment matters. Why I wanted to share this is because this is super, 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 super important. And this is the foundation of everything that I do, and everything that I guide people through is embodiment of your true self, not your false programming, the layers, the programs, the filters that you think are you sometimes that are not, but your own embodiment matters. This means living in integrity. So it's really good to do integrity checks. When you are sharing your beautiful soul work, are you actually living by what you're sharing? Are you practicing what you preach? Or are you showing up like that and like doing something else on the back end? Because guess what? If you are out of integrity, that is going to show up energetically in what you are or are not attracting. Okay. So we need to be in integrity. And sometimes it can sting a little when we realize we're not. And this isn't about making yourself feel bad if you're not. It's just about bringing your awareness to that, because when you are not, you're operating in programming usually, and you're not, operating from soul, right? So are you practicing what you preach, or are you not? An example of this would be someone who is, I'm trying to think of a good example. I guess an example would be like, I don't know, a money coach who's teaching about money and manifestation, but they are not investing in themselves, or they're afraid to invest in themselves or whatever. And it's kind of out of integrity in that regard. Or if you are teaching about breath work and meditation, but you don't ever use those practices for yourself, and it's been like a long ass time since you did. So those are just little examples. There are more, but Are you be in integrity, give yourself integrity checks, because your embodiment matters. It sends an energetic signal out to the world. Do the scary things and make the moves. We got to move before we're ready. We got to, the bold moves create the quantum leaps. You guys are, most of you are into the quantum stuff, right? You're aware that infinite possibilities exist, and that in order to collapse time, we need to be that version of ourselves before it reflects in our reality. So this means that we need to take the leap before we're actually ready, or before we feel fully ready. I don't even know if ready is the right word, but we've got to take the leaps and trust ourselves. And our ego or the mind will be like, oh no, you can't, but wait, what if this happens? Da, 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 da. And you end up staying in the same fucking cycle, right? I remember when I moved across the country. Thank you for the hair compliment. I remember when I moved across the country to Austin for the first time, because I actually moved across the country 3 times. That's a whole other story for a whole other day. But I remember I had this pull to leave New York City. I lived in New York City for 8 years and I loved it there. I never thought I was going to leave. It's crazy even saying that now, because I would never go back, but I never thought I would leave. And I got this pull to try something new out, go to a new city. And one of my friends said, oh, Steph, you should try Austin. You would love it there. I didn't fucking know what was going to happen here. And mind you, I had my own personal training business in New York. I was also bartending on the side at that time, starting over basically again. I took my personal training clients on Zoom. I moved across the country. I stayed with a friend for 2 weeks until I found a, apartment. I didn't know how the fuck things were going to work out. I did that scary thing. I made that move, a literal move. And guess what? Everything worked out. And it was a little bumpy in the beginning, but hey, I'm alive and kicking, and here we are. So you got to make the moves and do the scary things before it shows up in your reality. I remember also when I invested in one of my first coaches, it was like $25,000 and I paid her in full and I did not have the money. And you might be thinking, well, how did you pay her if you didn't have the money? Well, I was making some money from my coaching business, but I was also working at a job, I was bartending. I put some on credit cards and I paid her like more than half on credit cards, and I paid her like more than half on credit cards and the rest in cash. And it scared the shit out of me. Like I literally thought I was going to throw up. But I also felt so much power in that moment. And you can probably relate in times where you've invested in yourself as well, where you were scared to do it and you did it and you trusted yourself and you bet on your success, and you're still here now and you learned from it and you grew from it and it supported you. And this is also what your clients are feeling when they invest in you. It's scary, but also it's empowering. And so we got to do the scary things, make the moves first to make the quantum leaps or to collapse time, and to really just trust ourselves and bet on our success. Which comes to the last thing, trusting your channel and letting it flow. So this is all about your embodiment, doing the scary things, trusting your channel and letting it flow. This one is huge as well. Oh, cool. We got some awesome people here. Austin is the best. So trusting your channel. All right. I've worked with people who, and I've done this myself too. All the things that I'm sharing with you, I've been there, fucking done that. Like, I get it. So I worked with someone recently who, she is a channel. She's a medium. And most of my clients are channels and mediums and intuitives, but she's a medium, and all her programs are channeled. They're amazing. And she went through this phase of not fully trusting her channel because she still had to move through some stuff that was coming up for her. And also she was listening to all the things that other people were telling her to do. And she was chasing the metrics and the milestones and the this and the that. And it was creating a static signal from her channel. So trust your fucking channel. You already know your shit. You know your shit, you know what you're doing, you know who you are, and you know what you're here, how you're here to serve. And if you think you don't know, you freaking know. Like, you know, on a soul level. And it's a time to like really own that and let it flow. So many people are nervous to show up in a bigger way on and offline, mostly because they're afraid of what people will think. But when you trust your channel and you let it flow, you're just in the present moment, speaking from your soul, speaking from your heart, people can take it or leave it. Trust your channel. There's divine intelligence flowing through you all the time. And if the ego of the mind is in the way, it gets clogged, it gets distorted, and it waters down your message. All right. Are you guys ready for for the 4 pillars? All right. So we're going to get into the 4 pillars of new paradigm leadership. And I'm really excited to share this with you. So the first one is dun, 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 quantum client attraction. Doesn't that sound sexy? Quantum client attraction. So quantum client attraction is about the energy, calling in your clients from the quantum realm, a different way of looking at it. This doesn't mean we don't show up. This doesn't mean that we don't share things or put our offers out there into the world, but it does mean that we really utilize this aspect of client attraction, because I think this is a big missing piece for some. So many people get caught up in the, what do I need to post? What do I need to say? You know, how should I be sharing this or whatever, or what have you in that regard. But what about energetically connecting to the souls that you're literally meant to serve? I believe that our soulmate clients are people that we are literally meant to serve. It's like a soul to soul contract. They're meant to be in our world. They're meant to learn from you, and you learn from them, and you grow from working with them. It's like a really beautiful exchange. So knowing that, and also another thing to consider is that your soulmate clients, they're not separate from you. Like, let's stop thinking of them as people out there that you need to call in and attract. They're not separate from you. You're one and the same. There's a resonance that you can create by connecting to them energetically from your heart, from your soul. Stop looking at getting clients as getting clients, and start seeing it as start being more in the energy of being fucking really excited to serve and support these people. That's where it trips most people up, is the thought of trying to get clients. You're not trying to get clients. Your soulmate clients are already out there. They're literally just waiting for your signal to reach them. And your signal can reach them in a multitude of ways. Number one, energetically connecting them in the quantum. I'm actually thinking of making a guided quantum client attraction activation audio. If any of you would like that, I'm probably going to do that soon. So we can connect that to them in the quantum. Let spirit lead you and bring your people to you. I like to say things like, I will ask God, spirit, I'm open. I have space to hold for these amazing people, and I'm really excited to serve them and to support them and to guide them on their journey. Send them my way. So let spirit lead you and bring people to you. Energetically connect to them. Something I like to do that you can try, or I'll probably add this to the guided thing that I'm likely going to create soon. It's been on my radar. But I like to imagine like my heart, like I go into meditation and I'll imagine my heart like lighting up, like this pure God frequency from my heart, like beautiful pearlescent light. And all of the rays that are coming out of my heart, all of the rays that are coming out of my heart are reaching the hearts of the people that are meant to work with me, that are meant to be in my world in whatever capacity. And I send them love and support and excitement for their arrival. And so that's something that I like to do. Also, think about the people that you've already supported or that you are currently supporting in your spaces. You have so much love for them, likely, hopefully, and you love supporting them and seeing them celebrate and seeing their transformation. So connect to the love and excitement you have for the transformation of your people. This is a completely different frequency than, oh, I'm trying to get clients. No, like you are you doing your thing, living your life, being your highest expression. Your clients are already out there. It's just being in the energy of serving from abundance and being excited to receive them. Does that make sense? Are you guys following and picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, cool. Okay, so yes. Create opportunities. So the first two are like the energetics piece. And you can even encode your content too with love, with the same like incantation of may this reach exactly who it's meant for. You know, if you're sharing about your offers, may the perfect people that are meant to work with me in this offer know that this is for them and trust themselves enough to bet on their success and invest in themselves in this experience that's going to change their life. So the next thing I have here is create opportunities for people to be in your energy and experience your magic. We talked a little bit about that in the community codes. So what are some different ways that you can create opportunities for people to experience you and how you can support them? It can be anything from a free training or a consult call, or it could even be through your content. I have people connecting with you through your content. It could be a multitude of ways. I'm even doing some in-person stuff soon with my intuitive business strategist, Taylor, who is amazing. We're going to be doing some like women's mystical mastermind event things here in Austin soon. And because it's fun for us, also think of what's fun for you, because it really comes down to you enjoying yourself also, of course. And we'll get to that when it comes to soul-led business. But we want to create something fun and also a new opportunity for people to experience the work that we do in a way that will support them and also allow them to choose if they would like to dive deeper with us in any capacity beyond that. So think of different opportunities that are fun for you, where you can bring people into your energy to experience your magic. It doesn't have to be a free thing. It could be anything. It could be really anything, free, like lower ticket, whatever. Just think of that first question. And if any of you have any ideas and you want to pop them in the chat, you can do so. Maybe it will be supportive for other people as well. And I ask you to do that. I like asking things like that too, because when I create communities or when I bring people together, I also like them to connect. So also why I like having you guys use the chat and sharing different things. People realize they're not alone on the journey and so on. So the last thing for quantum client attraction for here, and this I go way deeper into these 4 pillars in my New Paradigm Leadership group mastermind thing that I'm going to share a little bit about at the end. But this is an overview and some things that you can consider. And this last thing is throw out all of the old school client avatar shit that you've learned. Some people will probably disagree with me on that. But like I said in the beginning of this, mystics are a different freaking breed, okay? That old school client avatar stuff is so outdated and it's just, no. Okay, so we want to tune into the energy of the people that you're attracting. And what do I mean by that? I mean, think of things like, what is their personality like? What is their vibe like? What are they into? How does it feel when you connect with them? How does it feel when you work with them? And get into the energy of that, right? The energy of like, I'll give you an example. When I did this exercise, when I first did this, I think, you know, I would think of a client, a past client, usually that I worked with, I really vibed with. And I think, well, what did I really vibe and enjoy about that person that was like absolute dream client? Is because her mindset the way that she led herself, her boldness, her drive and determination to continue growing and expanding. I loved her bubbly energy and how it felt like a friend that when we connected, and this is one of my clients, and I had and so I think about stuff like that. So I want you guys to think about things like that. And these are all my clients, really. I feel like everybody that comes into my world, whether they work with me one-on-one or they come to my retreats or they're in my group programs, I literally really feel connected with them, not just as a coach or a mentor or whatever. Like, I literally feel super connected with them, and like they're a friend as well. And some of you might be on here in here that have done some of my things, and some of you may watch in the replay. Like, I really give a shit and connect with my people. And so when you're thinking of this tuning into the energy of who your people are, that's what I mean. How does it feel interacting with them? How does it feel serving and supporting them? What kind of person are they? How does it feel, that relationship? Does that make sense? Is that landing? Let me know in the comments if that's clear, because we're going to be moving on to multidimensional marketing, which is another way of letting these people find you. Okay, cool. Perfect. Cool. Oh yeah, Sasha's here and Amanda's here. Two people who've been in my stuff that these are the people that I feel really connected to. All right, cool. Hey girl, hey. All right, multidimensional marketing. Okay, I can go in on this. I actually did a long thing on a training on this too. So multidimensional marketing is the new paradigm of marketing. And let's start with high frequency content. And some of this is related. So, and I actually have a program called High Frequency Content too, that goes deeper into that. So I want you to start thinking of your marketing online. We're going to talk about online only here as an activation, that you are activating people from when they come across your stuff. And so when it comes to high frequency content, I love your names for everything. They're so amazing. Thank you. That's one of my things. I'm really good at coming up with names for stuff for my clients too. Multidimensional marketing. All right. High frequency content. Let's get back. So I want you to think of your content as like an activation. When people come across your content, when they read the words, when they see the videos, like, think of it as it sparks something in them. It's like, oh, I felt that. Oh, she gets me. You're speaking to my soul. Why I call it high frequency content is because a lot of us have been conditioned to think that we always need to talk about the pain, the problem, the this, the that, or, there's a lot of shame marketing out there that some people have taught to other people that they've learned that I like to believe they mean well, but it still shows up in their content. Shame, let's talk about that real quick, because I didn't even put that on here. So shame is anytime you feel bad, wrong, broken, too much, or not enough. I learned this from two of my really good friends that teach emotional navigation. So wrong, bad, not enough, too much, or broken. That's what shame feels like or is, right? It's anytime you feel that. So a lot of people are unconsciously using shame in their marketing. They're unconsciously making people feel bad, wrong, broken, too much, or not enough. Sometimes this is blatant and sometimes it's not. And I have done this unknowingly in the past as well. And what I mean by high frequency content is, how can we speak from our heart, from love, to our people, emit the frequency of love. You can still do this and let people know that you're aware of their problems. You can empathize with their problems. I like to call this, instead of pain point marketing, problem aware. You're aware of their problem. You're aware of what they're going through. And sometimes you might call them out on it in a loving way, but you're not making them wrong, bad, broken, whatever for it. You understand it. You get it. You've been through it. Maybe you share your own story about it, that you've dealt with the same thing. So deconstruct the shame marketing and notice if that's coming in your message. I actually just looked at a client's webpage. She wanted me to look over her sales page recently, and it was great, but there were certain statements in there that it just, the frequency was distorted, and there was a little bit of shame in there, totally unconsciously. And this doesn't mean you need to, like, you know, go crazy, like overthinking things at all. It's by no means that. But I looked it over, and I just offered a couple suggestions of different things. I wish I had my phone by me, because I would even share a couple of those suggestions. I don't have my phone by me though. But it was basically like I think one of the things that was in there was like, the reason why you're struggling or something. And I think I said something along the lines of, like, it's time to get off the struggle bus because you know you're a badass, or something like that. It wasn't that, but I shifted it a bit. Or the one thing that, you know, you're getting wrong, to something more empowering that still gets the same message across. Is this landing with you guys? So speak from your heart and think, how can I make my content high vibrational, high frequency, from love, and still be fucking potent, and still let people know I know what they're fucking going through. I know what they've been through, and I know where they're going. So speak to their higher self. We don't always need to be talking about the pain. The people that you're calling in and working with, like, they know what they're capable of. They might be dealing with some stuff, but they know that they've been doing the work, right? Your soulmate clients, conscious clients that you are now allowing in, they feel things deeper. They can feel things, and it comes across through your message. So let's go to the next one, crystallizing your message. So there's so much that goes into this as well. This is about getting really clear on what is your, not just what is your message, but how are you embodying your message? And in what ways can you convey that in a way that's really potent, clear? And this comes back to trusting your channel, right? So for me, my message has evolved over the years. And ever since I got the download for Star Power, which is like one of my programs, is I started getting extra clear about what is my message look like, and what does it feel like. And I started noticing themes within the work that I do in a deeper way. But it also happened because I've been doing the work on myself. And I realized that the main core of my message has always pretty much been supporting people with embodying like their innate magnetism, who they truly are, and channeling that into their work. But when the Star Power download came, it got even more clear. And I started thinking, all right, what are some examples of this, of how I can share this message? What things have I been through? What things have clients experienced or been through? What are some fun ways I could share how I embody this through my marketing, through my message? Let me know if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. I just want to do a little check-in. Yes, you can pop in the chat. Yes. Okay, cool. I just like to do these little check-ins because I know this is a lot of information, and I want to make sure, you know, it's landing, you're getting it, you're vibing, all the good stuff. Cool. The more you are embodied in your truth, the more crystallized your message will be, meaning it'll be more grounded. You'll be more convicted as you share it, right? So when this download for star power came to me, I realized that that's been a huge part of my journey of stepping into my star power, which is also has to do with your innate magnetism, really enhancing and owning your supernatural gifts, and having influence in the world through your gifts and through your work in the way that you're meant to, because you have a desire and a calling to create an impact. And so I realized I've been on that journey, and it was easier for me to embody that through my message. So consider that when you're thinking about your own message. A lot of people get, depending on where you are, you might get confused, but it's really clear if you think about your own journey and the experiences you've had. Your message is already there. It's just a matter of like ramping it up. How can you make it more potent? And that's why it's important to embody your star power, because it makes it more potent. You don't tippy toe around things. You don't hide anymore. It's fucking lands and it's felt. So old paradigm marketing versus new paradigm marketing is old paradigm marketing tells you to post on social media 50,000 times a day, everywhere, have like a big fancy funnel, write novels for sales pages, overcome all these objections, and what else? Focus on the pain points, blah, blah, blah. Old paradigm marketing feels dense. Do you know what I mean by that? It feels dense. It feels icky to a lot of people. Or we can also call it bro marketing. And a lot of people have gotten sucked into that and think that it's the only way. And that's also a lot of times what holds people back. Or a lot of feminine entrepreneurs, they end up going into this overly masculine energy of force and hustle, and it doesn't feel good. New paradigm marketing or multidimensional marketing is around the energy of your message, creating through embodiment, sharing from love, speaking to, like I said, speaking to people in their power versus in their pain. You can be aware, but you know, you got what I'm talking about. And also selling in a way that feels really good for you, to you. And we can do that very easily through our storytelling and just through working through our own inner stuff around that in a way that feels congruent. And so this is some of what multidimensional marketing is. And this last one is one of my favorite. I'm about to make a bunch of content around this. I might even trademark it. Make your social media, get it? Social media, your energetic billboard. It's basically an energetic billboard, like an everlasting sales page. I teach this in a couple of my programs, Social Star and High Frequency Content, where your social media should be this place where if someone were to come across your social media today that never fucking knew anything about you, and they come across your page, they are binging your stuff because they're getting so much out of it. They're learning things. It's activating them. They're like, oh, she gets me. Wow. And they're like really resonating on a soul level. You are speaking to them. And they're like, oh shit, I want to be in this person's energy. I want to follow them. I want to see what else they're doing. And maybe this person will join one of your programs. Maybe they'll start listening to your podcast. Maybe they'll hit you up in the DMs. Maybe they'll quietly follow you and not do anything and just take it all in. And then you'll hear from them later on down the line. Doesn't matter. Make your social media an energetic billboard, an everlasting sales page that activates people. And consider that when people come across my page, I want them to feel this. If I were to come across my page today, would I follow me? Would I get a lot of value out of this? Would I like to see what's going on? Also think about people that you enjoy learning from, or, you know, reading their content or whatever. What do you like about it? What makes you want to follow someone? When you come across someone's page for the first time, what draws you in? this is really powerful because especially if you encode it with your high frequency content, your message is crystallized, you're serving from love, your social media is this beautiful billboard and all of this stuff goes into quantum client attraction too, because guess what? Your content travels. And this is another thing that I invite you to take on, and as your new truth is my content travels. What do I mean by that? Shit, I had someone come across my podcast like a few weeks ago. She's like, oh, I came across this older episode of your podcast, and she started binging my podcasts, and she ended up working with me in the same week, signed up to work with me. And these are podcasts that I have done in the past, or, you know, people have listened to something that I did years ago with someone else. It doesn't matter, but people may even come across your content. This is why your content travels at different times, in different space, whatever, but it will reach them at the perfect time. And when you embody this belief of my content travels, then it makes creating content much more exciting and easy and fun. Because you're like, I don't care about how many people like or engage in my content. All I care about is that it's coming from my heart, it's activating, it's fun for me to create it, and I know it's going to reach whoever it's meant to reach, period, point blank. So does that land? Make your social media your energetic billboard. Consider what would be, there's different types of content. I'm not going to get into all of that because we have some other stuff to get into here, but be your authentic self when you're creating your content. This is the last piece for multidimensional marketing, because as you can see, some of this is energetics, some of this is energy, and also the actual tangible actions of putting things out there. Authenticity is the only way to succeed in the new paradigm. That's why a lot of people are a lot of the old stuff is crumbling, and there are just a lot of people who are feeling this, and it is the only way, like literally the only way, because your people are conscious beings that are gonna resonate, and if you're not being your authentic self, they're not gonna fucking resonate, and they're not gonna hit you up. So this is where the inner work comes in, because it is challenging for a lot of people to fully be their authentic self, fully. And I'm talking people at any stage of their journey. I don't care if you're just starting out. I've worked with people, like I said, who they have thriving, successful businesses, and they still felt like they were hiding. They weren't hiding in a lot of ways, but they've grown, and then they were clinging to an old version of them, and so they weren't allowing themselves to flourish in the new iteration of them. Does that resonate? Because I know that's happened for me too, and times where I've grown, it was a little nerve-wracking to embrace a new iteration of me, especially like when my channel opened more and when I started sharing my light language. That was really scary for me in the beginning, because I was like, oh man, like I was never doing this before, and now this is like part of who I am though, so I am not going to not share it when I want to share it. And I delved into that. So that's what I mean by being authentic in your expression, sharing your stories, sharing your truth without giving a fuck of what other people think, or without letting that stop you, I should say, because, you know, I know we're human and there's going to be elements of caring what people think. Kelsey says, this is speaking straight to my soul. I see out of alignment I've been following other paths, and it makes so much sense to why it has felt like mud, and this feels soul aligned. Good. Sweet. All right. So the next pillar number 3 of new paradigm leadership is vibrational frequency. As you know, we've already been talking about this in many ways, but this is about your vibrational frequency, your personal frequency. This comes down to your inner world. And this is why this is a huge part of all the work that I do with people, because your inner world creates your outer world. If there's, like I said before, incongruencies or distortions, old patterns, programming, conditioning that's keeping you small, stuck, thinking you're not enough or too much or whatever, it's not going to, you're not going to be able to serve to the level that you are here to serve. So make your vibration your number one priority. All of this anyway, like, it comes down to you living your fucking best life and having a ton of fun in the process. And if you're not, then what's the point? You know what I mean? So make your vibration your number one priority. This doesn't mean that you don't have a bad day or you don't work through some heavier things as they come up. That's actually part of making your vibe your number one priority. Because if you are feeling things come up, if you're feeling fear or scarcity or things like that come up, it's really important to have the tools, the practices to navigate that and to move that energy or to regulate your nervous system to feel safe within yourself so that you can expand and get to a better state that is more supportive for you, right? So it's making your vibration your number one priority, and also developing emotional intelligence and learning how to navigate your emotions so that they don't get in the way, in a negative way, of your life and your business and your abundance and your bank account. Does that land? So some things that I do to make my vibe my number one priority are my personal practices. The second thing here, my personal and spiritual practices. Like every single day. And I know you guys all have your practices, and sometimes you might fall off of them. But for me, like my practices, and I fallen off mine too. And guess what happens when I fall off mine? If it's long enough, I start to really feel it emotionally and energetically. But my personal practices are every morning I meditate, I do breath work most days. I move every day, I work out, I do the sauna. Some things change on different days. I do my cacao in the mornings. I have my practices that support my vibe. Music is a huge thing for me. Some of you know I have my, I talk about my empowered method, which is a really powerful embodiment practice that supports vibration elevation. I sometimes do classes on that where it's like a live experiential class. And it involves music, movement, all the things that I'm talking about here. So we want to have a practice that supports our vibrational frequency and also support sometimes even outside of ourselves if we get stuck in the cycles or the patterns or whatever. The next thing is energetic alchemy, star power states. So energetic alchemy is kind of like what I just was saying around the empowered method too, is we need to learn how to master our energy and alchemize it. I had an experience a little while back where I was really going through some heavy things, and I felt like, I felt like I was stuck in it. And there was just this stuck energy in me. I didn't know where it was coming from or why or whatever. That's not necessarily the most important thing, but I didn't really understand how to fully move it. And then I learned how to move it through an experience that I had where I was just listening to my body, doing certain movements, breathing, and alchemizing that energy, giving it space to move. There's a multitude of ways that we could do this, and some of the things I shared before certainly support that through movement, but also having compassion and grace for yourself as you alchemize your energy through all of it. So that's that piece. And then star power states is your star power state is feeling like a freaking badass, feeling like a boss, feeling, super grateful, in a state of joy, in a state of fun, in a state of like, I'm on fire. And how do we get in those states? Well, we do need to alchemize any denser energy usually. And also our thoughts, our internal dialogue, the narratives that are going on in our mind. A big thing that I support clients with, and also even in my group containers, we amplify each other's star power states and energy. But a big thing I support them with is deprogramming from the narratives, the stories, the beliefs that are not actually them. And we do this in a multitude of ways. But if there's these stories in the background of, my offer is not good enough, or, people aren't signing up because this, and it means this about me, or, these stories around money or abundance that are not supportive, we got to clear that shit out and understand that it's not actually you. That's not your truth. And sometimes we need support in doing that and navigating that. Picking up what I'm putting down, we're almost done. The last one's going to be really good. Okay. So the last thing here for vibrational frequency, and all the things that I'm sharing through these 4 pillars are key concepts to really embodying new paradigm leadership within yourself and in your business. These are all very important things. And obviously I can only cover so much in here, but I'm giving you these deep overviews and things to consider to start implementing some of this stuff. The last thing I have here is open your channel. How many of you do channel or trust your channel or want to? I believe we're all channels and conduits. And this can look different for different people, the way that they want to share it. Cool. So have you ever, something I like to do, cool, a lot of you do, beautiful. When I say open your channel here, I'm actually talking about like using your voice. I worked with a vocal transformation coach for about a year, and we use the vibration of our voice to clear our energy centers and actually open your channel. And so when I talk about opening your channel in relation to your vibrational frequency, I mean, use the vibration of your voice to open your channel, to actually clear your energy. This is one of the practices that I have people do, is different mantra or different toning exercises with the vibration of their voice, their vocal cords. And this allows you to move energy. This allows you to tune yourself, like you're your own tuning fork, and your voice is the tuning fork, and allows you to open your energy centers and also your channel to be able to express yourself, not just in your business, but in all areas of your life. This leads to your expression. We channel our expression, and it supports your vibrational frequency in raising that. Kelsey says, I want to open it more. Renee says, native chanting on my ancestors helps with opening. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm a big a believer in using your voice. I sing every day, and you don't need to be like a singer per se, but we have so much power in our voice, and it's something that we can utilize to tune ourselves, like I said. And everything is vibrational frequency, and we attract what's resonant to what we are emitting. And it's not good or bad or right or wrong or anything like that, but you know what I mean? So this is why I say make your vibe your number one priority. When you're in a state of feeling so grounded in yourself, at peace in yourself, not in a state of worry, and a state of peace, in your power, love is the dominant vibration. You're going to reflect, you're going to experience the reflection. And if you're not currently experiencing the reflection that you desire in your reality right now, it is okay. What trips you up is if you fixate on that and make it mean something about you. That's where the mind gets in the way. But what if there's nothing to do or nowhere to be, and everything is exactly as it's meant to be? And moment by moment, you just choose. Moment by moment, you choose where is your energy? Where is your focus? Where is your attention? And soon enough, things reflect, and soon enough, you'll reach a tipping point where overflow happens, and it's a practice. So don't judge your experience, whatever's happening, because there's also lessons in all of it. And sometimes we need to go through things to further embody certain learnings that support us. I know I have done that many times where I've gone through really challenging experiences, and I initially wanted to judge it and make it like mean something about me, and the mind was getting in the way, and then I felt even worse. And then I reached a point where I was like, you know what? Like, this is uncomfortable right now, and I'm learning from it. I'm growing from it. It's going to support me in being a better partner, a better coach, a better person. And it's ultimately showing myself how to love myself more. So I invite you to look at any challenges that come along your way as growth gifts to expand. Okay, the next thing. All right, this is the last slide. And then I'll go into quick activation thing that I'm going to share with you. How are we doing? Good, everybody. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and soaking up these codes. Okay, so this is so important. I can make, well, actually, I do have a whole thing. I have a whole thing on all of this stuff even deeper. I was gonna say I can make a whole program on this one slide. All the things that I'm sharing in here are actually things that I'm gonna be going into in my next mastermind that I'm gonna share after this. But this is so important. And you're gonna hear me say some of the things that I said in the other stuff. But this is what brings it all home, essentially. So what is a soul-led business? What is a soul-led business versus an ego-led business? What is soul-led leadership versus ego-led leadership? And this is like, we all have an ego, obviously. We're in this human experience, and ego can really get in the way at times from truly being of service. And again, this is not to make anything wrong or whatever, not to judge ourselves, but to bring awareness. Because when we have awareness, we have a choice, and choice is power. Okay, so soul-led business. Okay. Oh, there's so much that goes into this. Okay. Where do I want to start? I guess I'll just start with the bullet points that I have. So let's talk about being of service to self versus service to others. Service to self, it looks like, okay, I'm going to share this because a lot of people have come to me with this, and I've experienced this myself too. Service to self, an example would be if you're launching a program and you're more concerned about how many people are signing up for it than the transformation that they're going to experience in it. And so you're making it about you, or you're making it about your goal that you're trying to reach more than the impact that you're having on these people. And the ego can get in the way of that by making it mean something about you. Example, oh, my program didn't do well. It must mean I suck. It must mean my program sucks, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So service to, and so here's the thing. When I say this, when I service to self versus service to others, I actually should have added after others, service to others while honoring our true self. So service to self is just really thinking about yourself and thinking about the goals, the metrics, the milestones comes before the actual work that you're doing. Versus service to others is truly being of service from a place of abundance, being really excited to serve, to give from your heart, while also honoring your true self, your authentic expression, what's lighting you up. Because we're not just in service to others and doing what we think other people want from us. No, we're using our God-given gifts and what really lights us up to be in service to others. So that's being service to others while honoring our true self. Serving from abundance versus lack, that's kind of along the same thing of what I shared. If you're serving from a place of lack, that's the whole, how can I get clients, or getting so worked up about that. And I know, and I get that we're all running a business. Obviously, you want to attract clients and do it in a way that feels really good for you. But we must be in this frequency of abundance and serve from this. Our cup needs to be full. So when we're in lack, we're trying to serve from what feels like an empty cup. When we're serving from abundance, our cup is fucking full in all areas or in other areas of our life. We're taking care of ourselves. And in other ways, self-care is on point. Your practices are, you're doing your practices and you have a lot to give from a place of abundance. And we can slip into lack when the ego gets in the way, when it's going into fear and mental worry and anxiety or stories that are not actually you, it's false programming, and it keeps you actually from being soul-led. Are you guys following? Picking it up? So, Sasha, Alfredo, yes. So, I've seen this play out in a lot of ways for other, I could see it actually, I could feel it from people who are in ego-led leadership more than soul, and it's a vibrational resonance. And so how can you be more aware of being soul-led and being in service to others while honoring true self? And this comes back to alignment, right? Being in alignment with who you were designed to be through your human design, being in service, sharing your gifts, your sacred gifts from a full cup, that it's overpouring, that you don't need people to sign up to work with you to feel happy, successful, whatever the fuck. You're excited for it because you can't wait to connect with them. You're super excited for their transformation, the results that they're going to experience. You're calling them forth. There's a different energy. And this is a way different. And this is the next level of your leadership, is truly serving from soul and speaking to people in their power over pain. I already said that in one of the other slides. Speaking to people in their power over pain. And another thing that I want to talk about here real quick is that when we are, when our programming is running the show, the distortions, the programming of not enough, fear of rejection, fear of being seen, all that stuff, when all of that stuff is running rampant dominantly, and obviously we have stuff that comes up, I'm not saying it doesn't, but if that's like running the fucking show, you're not fully able to be of full soul-led service. That's why it's so important to do the inner work. Because if you're afraid of being seen, if you are, feeling whatever the stories are, how can you expect to fully be of soul-led, service? Do you know what I mean? Like if you're upset about, not having people sign up for something, like how can that be fully soul-led leadership, right? We got to get the ego out of the way for this. And disconnect from the narratives that is trying to feed you so that you can stay in service while honoring true self. And not identifying with the stories, not identifying with the stuff that's not you, that doesn't feel good for you. And so anything that is of love is your soul, is your God self, is your infinite self. And anything that is from fear or lack is ego. And what trips us up is we identify with the thoughts, the stories. We identify with the things that are of lack and fear. And that's actually the illusionary programming. That is what we're all breaking free from when we remember who we truly fucking are and we channel that through in our work. All right, we're almost done. Soul-led versus ego-led business is focus on your mission over metrics. It's going into the same thing. Your mission comes first. Your mission that you are called to live out in this world just from being you. Your mission really is just being your fully expressed self and channeling your gifts and sharing them how you desire to share them. It's really that simple. Like your whole business, your whole stuff, like yes, we're of service to others and you're serving others, but you're literally serving others just by being you, your true fullest you. And so we must focus on the mission over the metrics. The metrics, again, is an ego thing. Like, oh, are people liking my stuff? And obviously, I get it. We want people to see our stuff. But if that's knowing and you're not making any stories or making it mean anything about you, then you start to ask better questions of, what do you can start to channel even your soulmate client for your soulmate clients. What do these people need to hear from me? Like, what am I called to share today? What's going to really be supportive today? What's going to be fun for me to share today? And you do it for the fun of it, for the, again, pouring from the full cup of it versus the lack. And then the last thing here is be a pure channel and remove distortions. I kind of said it about removing distortions, and I kind of mentioned about the channel thing earlier too. If there's too many distortions in the way, it clogs up our channel, right? This happens sometimes when people start to feel like they're a carbon copy of other coaches. They're, just not fully trusting their channel or doing their practices. The distortions are getting in the way. And one of the things that we focus on in the work that I do with people is removing those distortions around imposter syndrome, removing distortions around not enoughness, removing distortions from lack programming and scarcity, because the full the goal, the intention for all of this is for you to peel all the fucking layers back of what is not you, so that you can operate in this physical vessel, soul embodied, so that you can lead from your soul with your God-given gifts. I wish I had a mic because I would drop it. So that is soul-led versus ego-led business, like a little preview of that. Do you guys have any questions about any of this at all so far? If you want to pop them in the chat. How do you like this? How's this landing for you? Is this exciting you? Is this a more exciting way of going about your business in a way that feels expansive and focus on the energy? Kelsey said, could you give an example of power over pain? What do you support people with? Practicing getting out of my head and in my body. So power over pain would be, I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head. Tell me what you support people with. Maybe that will support my flow of the answer or not. But so I would say that speaking to power over pain would be, I help people heal from trauma using emotional mastery and create a life of their dreams. So, okay, so focus on speaking to their desires. What's going to happen for them on the other side of healing from their trauma? Instead of focusing on the pain that they're in, what do they want on the other side of it? So when you make a list of all of whatever that is, you can start to create content around that. And you can even maybe share some of your stories within that. And that's an example of speaking to their desires or their power over just bringing them in the pain and always talking to the pain, because people don't want to be where they are right now usually, but there are some people who they just want to expand. But regardless, when we speak to their desires and power, we're speaking to their higher self. There's the version of them who knows that there's so much beautiful things on the other side of wherever they're at now, or they're a person who is into growth and expansion and they're excited to continue. So I would say, what are some examples of how emotional mastery can support them in creating the life of their dreams? What are some stories that you have specifically, Kelsey, that has supported you to get on the other side of that? And so that they could resonate and connect with you. Does that help? Speaking over the power to power over the pain? Yeah, speak to the heart. Okay, cool. Good. So that's an example. And again, you can be aware, let them know that you understand what they're going through, and you also know that they're a powerful being. Just like, this is to put it in a nutshell, your soulmate clients, the people that are meant to learn from you, work with you, whatever, they are powerful, empowered individuals. And they might not feel that right now, but they are, and you need to see them as that, and you need to speak to them as that. Does that make sense? Like, they're not these people who, aren't taking action, and like, you got to see them in their power for, what's possible for them. Like that coach that I told you that I invested in, that I was like scared to take that leap. I believed in myself, but she believed in me and saw stuff in me that I wasn't fully feeling and acknowledging at that time. And because of that, it supported me in believing in myself more. Same thing with a lot of things that I've done on my journey and a lot of coaches I've worked with. And there were times where like now when I make investments and work with people or join programs, like I already feel really amazing within myself. Of course, I have my stuff that I work through, and as we all do, but I am the kind of person where I am obsessed with growing and expanding. So I'm always going to be, you know, investing in myself. And when I see people's content, so just to give you another flip of this conversation, that are speaking to power over pain, I'm more likely to work with someone who they're speaking about, like, the next level, the dream, the it just coming from a different energy. That's the best way I could explain it, is it's just a different frequency that I feel. Like, I'm not going to work with someone who's being like shamey in their marketing, or like only talking to the pain, because I feel more empowered when I am investing in someone who's speaking in an empowering way, if that makes sense. And I can feel their heart, and I could feel their soul. And I know that they are in it because they're truly serving. And that's the type of person I would work with. So that's why I say these things of speaking to power over pain. I also like hearing people's stories too. And people are story people. People resonate when you tell stories. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up here, and then I'm going to share how to work with me further if you're called to. And I also want to share a little activation as we end this. So beyond this, I have a new amazing way to work with me in a new paradigm leadership mastermind. Actually, I'm doing a new paradigm leadership case study thing so I have been redeveloping a lot of my programs and kind of bringing them together as in this next evolution of my business, and experiences that really just take things to the next level. And so in my new paradigm leadership mastermind, you can connect with me on Instagram for more information on it. This is basically going to be a 3-month thing where I work with a small group very deeply. I'm going to bring my intuitive business strategist in the mix. So she's going to support with intuitive business strategy, mapping out your next evolution of your offers, getting crystal clear on your messaging in a way that really fucking lands with your people. We're going to be going into the deep inner work, like I mentioned, to remove the distortions, to open your channel, to really be able to show up in a more potent and powerful and authentic way for you. And it's going to be really amazing. There's a lot that's included in this new paradigm leadership case study thing. I have an application But the reason why I'm calling it a new paradigm leadership case study is because I am gearing up to create a longer term type thing around this. And so currently I'm doing the 3-month version, and we are gathering testimonials and experiences from people who do this that will support in getting the word out even more, because the stuff that I'm going to be going in here is a lot of what I went in this training, but way deeper and newer in a lot of ways, since I'm bringing my intuitive business coach, business strategist in. And we're also going to have, I'm including a lot of my programs in here as well, and an in-person mystical mastermind in Austin, and a lot more. So if you want more information on that, just reach out to me on Instagram, or I have a retreat coming up in November. We're going to spend the 11/11 portal together, a quantum breakthrough retreat in Austin. And this is from the November 8th to the 12th. And I'm doing these retreats at different times throughout the year. Obviously, I would love to have you at the November one because it's such a special day. If it aligns for any of you, reach out to me. I'll send you the link with all of the information on that. The retreats are a blend of quantum transformation work with the support of plant medicine. And one of the other days is deep intuitive business masterminding using your human design. I go into human design a lot deeper into everything that I do with my clients now that I've been studying it for the last couple of years, because it brings a whole new next level dimension to everything that you're doing when you really understand how your energy bus operates, and also how to translate that into your business so that it feels really in flow for you, essentially. And this is another reason why we throw out all the old rules, like I said in the beginning, and operate in alignment with how we were designed to be. So I would love to connect with you on Instagram, and also in general, outside of this, I would still love to connect with you on Instagram. If you want to share a screenshot or takeaway or whatever from this training, I would love that. That would make my heart smile. It make me super happy. I'm at the Spiritual Boss Babe, which you're probably following me on there already. And yeah, I would love to hear your big takeaways on the gram after this. And I'm excited for those of you who I do get to support further beyond this, because it's going to be incredibly activating. And the spaces that I create, both like this and also in my coaching containers, are very connective. And it's one of the best things about it is coming together in community, because we are each other's hype team. And it amplifies the results. You know what I mean? Like being around people who get it, being around other people who are going through similar things, being around people who are even at different stages on their journey that offer different perspectives or different ways of seeing things or support. So that's the vibes in my spaces. And I always encourage connection and collaboration too. So that's all about that. Now, I want to just wrap this up by doing a quick little activation for you. This went a little longer than I anticipated, but it's okay. Thank you all for staying and hanging out. So we're going to do a little activation. I invite you to close your eyes. If you are open to receive. If you don't want to, that's cool too. I'm going to be sharing a little bit of light language and guided activation. You might feel different things in your body energetically. You might not. That's okay. Don't, like, everybody's experience is different. Some people, sometimes they feel emotions come up. That's okay too. Let it happen. You might feel something after this. You might feel tired. You might feel energized. Everything, like, just notice what you feel during and after, and give yourself the support that you need that will support you in anchoring into these frequencies and this energy of the next iteration of you and your soul work. So, and also drink a lot of water too. So let's start with taking a big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're going to do a beautiful cellular upgrade for yourself and for the next evolution of your soul's work and how it wants to be channeled and transmitted through you. And so just imagine a beautiful pearlescent white light from infinite eternal source, God, streaming down through your crown chakra and down through all of your energy centers, through your arms, through your whole body, filling every cell inside of you, and then coming back down out through your feet and down into the earth. And we're going to call upon the support from infinite eternal source, God, support from the beings of the highest light and Christ consciousness, support from any of your ancestors that wish to support you specifically in this experience, and your higher self. And you can call on anything else you wish for your own self at this time. And just let this beautiful pearlescent light work its magic through every cell, deprogramming, deconstructing any energy that is ready to go, that's not resonant, that's been maybe holding you back. And bringing your awareness to your heart, your beautiful heart, the portal that you planted here to begin with. And fill your heart with this beautiful pearlescent white light. Bring more of that light into your heart and notice it swirling around and emanating out of your heart. And notice this light emanating out of your heart, these beautiful rays of light. That your love is infinite because you are infinite. And because your love is infinite and divine, you have so much to give, so much to share, just from being you, from being love. And just notice these beautiful rays of light that are streaming out of your heart. Just imagine them reaching the people, the opportunities, the connections that you're meant to receive and experience, whether these be amazing soulmate clients, whether these be new soul family and connections, maybe new opportunities or collaborations. All of these heart rays are reaching what is meant for you, and sending it your love and your openness to receive. Yijindea jindaya sarahabu. Yijinda saraheabu. Yeketea nasataya sharabushi anasateabu. Yehea nasataya sharabushi. Take a deep breath in and exhale, feeling so much gratitude within you. Gratitude for your whole journey, for the person that you've become, the person that you are, all of the things that you've experienced, the challenges that you've overcome, the lessons that you've learned. Let that all now be embodied on a cellular level in who you are, so that you truly can live in your full truth and share your wisdom and gifts from a place of power and a place of an embodied conviction and knowing. Yijindea satayabu. Yijindea santaya sharayabu. Bring your awareness to your throat chakra and take a deep inhale and make a sound on the exhale. And bring that light to your throat chakra, clearing out any distortions, anything that's been keeping you from fully speaking your truth or expressing yourself in the most authentic way. Just clearing that all away so that you speak your truth with conviction, so that your voice is more embodied. And when you do speak, you speak from power. Your people feel your power from your voice. You are no longer afraid to speak what's on your mind. You are no longer dimming your light to please other people. You know who you are. You know what you're here to share. And you know what wants to come through you. Place your hand on your heart. And we request that all of this energy, all of these frequencies be anchored in on a cellular level with the highest vibration of love, of power, of confidence, of remembering your galactic gifts, your untapped magic. May that come back online for you now, and for you to fully own it and embody it. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back whenever you like, no rush. Beautiful. And Amanda says, tears, thank you. Beautiful. How are you guys feeling? Good? Oh, nice. Thank you guys for receiving. Beautiful. Thank you guys for receiving. So something that I noticed, if I'm gonna just share it just because I noticed it so I noticed there's some energy a lot in the throat area. So what I would recommend, I think maybe that's why I brought up the voice stuff earlier too, is to practice using your voice more with yourself, whether that's toning, whether that's speaking things to yourself in the mirror or something. Like there's something about the throat area that felt a little bit clogged, which we did clear that, of course. And I want you to use your own voice more. So I think that should be like one of the implementation beyond this activation is let your voice out for yourself. Humming, toning, singing, mantras, something, do it tonight would be the best since it's right after this. In whatever way resonates for you or you feel called to do. It could be any sound. It could be your light language if you channel light language, whatever that is. Let it out and it will really support in this whole activation. And it also will really support in the way that you share your message and your gifts. So that's the last thing that I wanted to share beyond that. Other than that, thank you all so much for spending the last couple hours with me here. I know your time is so valuable, and for you to spend it with me on this Wednesday evening is just awesome. And I truly hope you got a lot of value out of this training, this activation. Would love to stay connected. Tag me on Insta when you watch this or when you share your takeaway or whatever, or if you're watching the replay, tag me when you watch it. And reach out to me about the New Paradigm Mastermind or the retreat. I would love to connect on that, share more, see if it's aligned for you. It's going to be absolutely freaking incredible. And I'm super, super excited. So thank you all so much. I love you and hope you have a magical rest of your evening. Mwah. Bye.